Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jamieson Greer are expected to meet with their Chinese counterparts in Switzerland this weekend for the first set of talks since President Trump's tariffs went into effect. And the Treasury Secretary says the U.S. won't back down. Listen here.
My sense is that this will be about de-escalation, not about the big trade deal. But we've got to de-escalate before we can move forward. We are going to stick to our guns. But again, the U.S. and China have shared interest. They are the deficit country, though. They sell us about 4 times more than we sell them. So it would be felt harder in China. But we don't want a decoupling.
Montana Senator Steve Daines sits on the Senate Committee on Finance and Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, and he joins us now. Senator, good morning to you. It's great to see you. So your reaction to these meetings that are going to take place tomorrow, and what would a successful deal, in your opinion, look like?
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of the great work that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and our U.S. Trade Rep Jamieson Greer are doing, fighting for American interests. I met with some of the Chinese leaders in late March talking about what we can do to work through some of the differences we have in trading policies. This needs to de-escalate, as Secretary Bessent said, and I hope the structure we put in place here in Geneva this weekend, where the talks can begin, dialogue can begin to sort out our differences. Keep in mind that the United States and China are the 2 largest economies in the world. They represent about 42% of the world's GDP. And at the moment, we're at a triple-digit trade war. As Secretary Bessent said, it's time to de-escalate and start to talk, to resolve the differences between these very large economies, the largest in the world. And we've got to address these tariff and non-tariff barriers the Chinese have had that have prohibited access for American companies into the China market, as well as affecting certainly producers here in America as we compete to keep manufacturing jobs here in the United States.
So, Senator, that's the goal. But you met, as you just mentioned, with the specific Chinese counterparts that Bessent and Greer are going to meet with. Take us inside what this meeting is going to look and feel like.
Yeah, well, when I was in Beijing in late March, I met with Premier Li Qiang. I also met with their Vice Premier, He Lifeng. And Vice Premier He Lifeng will be meeting with Secretary Bessent and USTR Jamieson Greer in Geneva. He is one of the top leaders in China. He is really their economic czar. He is the right person for Secretary Bessent and Jamieson Greer to be engaged with. They're going to have to lay out the differences on the table, but it looks like Secretary Bessent has said that they want to first start by cooling things off, maybe a de-escalation in these triple-digit tariffs as step 1, which is a precursor then to talking about what needs to be done to resolve the differences. Look, we run about a $300 billion trade deficit with China. We also have opportunities for American farmers and ranchers that want to sell their beef, their wheat, their barley into that huge Chinese market, 1.4 billion consumers. So there's opportunities for American manufacturers, American agriculture. But I'm really glad to see President Trump fighting hard for American interests and standing up for a great country.
Yeah, and Senator, there are reports that there are protests taking place in China right now from workers who are demanding back pay and those that are being impacted by these tariffs. And according to analysis from Goldman Sachs, at least 16 million people in China are at risk of losing their jobs. So does that pressure bring China to the negotiating table? The other consideration is that it is run by the Communist Party and they're willing to take the pain.
Well, it does give, I think, the United States leverage in these discussions. I think the Chinese economy is struggling. They're probably growing closer to 2%, not 5% in their GDP. And we're seeing the same reports of potentially millions of Chinese who have lost their jobs because they export a lot of goods to the United States. So these tariffs are putting a big bite and hurt right now on the Chinese economy. And again, I go back to Ronald Reagan's doctrine of peace through strength. It's President Trump's strong position that has resulted now in negotiations beginning in Geneva with Chinese leadership.
And Senator, just in the seconds we've got left, how is the Montana beef industry feeling this?
Yeah, well, this is something I worked on hard back in 2017. We opened up the Chinese market to U.S. beef. It's the second largest export market for beef in the world. We shipped $1.6 billion of U.S. beef into China. And so this is a really important market, and that'll be, I'm sure, one of the topics discussed as we continue to work through the differences.
We'll continue to watch this. Senator Daines, thank you for your time today.
So much. Fox and Friends starts right.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.